You've been telling yourself the same story for years now. Tomorrow, you'll start. Next week, when things calm down. Next month, when you have more time. Next year, when the conditions are just right. But what if I told you that everything you've been waiting for, every dream, every goal, every version of yourself you've been postponing, could begin tonight? What if the gap between who you are and who you want to become isn't measured in years of gradual improvement, but in one single night of radical commitment? Before we dive into this life-changing approach, if you're ready to stop waiting and start transforming, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Finance Decoded Daily. We're building a community of people who refuse to let their potential die in the waiting room of someday. Now, let me tell you about Quentin Tarantino, and no, this isn't just another celebrity success story. This is about a method, a philosophy, a complete reimagining of how transformation actually works. Because what Tarantino did in one night changed not just his life, but the entire landscape of cinema. And his approach contains a blueprint that you can use tonight to fundamentally alter the trajectory of your existence. The video store clerk who refused to wait. Picture this, it's 1990, and you're working at a video rental store in Manhattan Beach, California. You're 27 years old. You've never been to film school. You have no connections in Hollywood. You're barely scraping by financially. By every conventional measure, you're behind. Your dreams of becoming a filmmaker seem laughably unrealistic to everyone around you. This was Quentin Tarantino's reality. But here's what separated him from the thousands of other aspiring filmmakers waiting tables and working retail jobs in Los Angeles. Tarantino understood something profound about how change actually happens. He understood that transformation isn't the result of 1,000 tiny steps taken over years. It's the result of one massive leap taken in a single moment of absolute commitment. So what did Tarantino do? He didn't enroll in night classes. He didn't save up money for years to make a short film. He didn't wait for permission or the perfect circumstances. Instead, he did something that seemed insane to everyone around him. He quit his job, locked himself in a friend's apartment, and wrote Reservoir Dogs in 3.5 weeks. One script. One burst of focused intensity. One night that extended into several, fueled by nothing but cigarettes, coffee, and an unshakable belief that he was done waiting. And that script, written in a fevered, continuous push, became the film that launched one of the most influential careers in cinema history. But here's what you need to understand, this wasn't luck. This wasn't talent suddenly appearing out of nowhere. This was the result of a specific method, a particular way of approaching transformation that goes against everything you've been taught about gradual improvement and patient progress. The myth of gradual change. You've been sold a lie. Society tells you that change is gradual. That success is the result of steady, incremental progress over time. Wake up an hour earlier. Read 10 pages a day. Make small improvements. Be patient. Trust the process. And look, there's nothing wrong with consistency and patience. But here's the problem, for most people, gradual change doesn't lead to transformation. It leads to gradual accommodation. You make a small change, your life absorbs it, and everything else stays the same. You start waking up earlier, but you fill that extra hour with the same distractions you were engaging in before. You read those 10 pages, but you forget them by tomorrow because you haven't fundamentally shifted your identity or priorities. Gradual change works for maintaining systems that are already functional. But if you're reading this right now, if this message is resonating with you, chances are you're not looking to maintain your current trajectory. You're looking to break it. You're looking to become someone fundamentally different from who you are right now. And for that kind of transformation, you don't need gradual change. You need what Tarantino understood, you need rupture. You need discontinuity. You need one night, or 1 week, 1 month, of such intense, focused commitment that when you emerge on the other side, you're literally not the same person who went in. The Tarantino method, concentrated transformation. So what exactly is the Tarantino method? It's built on 3 core principles that fly in the face of conventional wisdom about personal development. Principle 1, compression over extension. Most people think they need more time to achieve their goals. Tarantino understood that limitation creates focus. When you compress your timeline radically, when you decide that you're going to complete your life-changing project not in a year, not in 6 months, but in the next few weeks or even days, something magical happens. All the noise falls away. All the distractions reveal themselves as the thieves they are. All the excuses evaporate because there's simply no time for them. You don't need more time. You need more intensity. You need to compress your transformation into a window so tight that you have no choice but to become obsessed, to let go of everything that isn't essential, to operate at a level of focus you've never accessed before. Principle 2, isolation over integration. Tarantino didn't try to write Reservoir Dogs while maintaining his normal life. He didn't attempt to balance his day job with his dream. He isolated himself completely. He removed himself from his normal environment, his normal routines, his normal identity. This is crucial because your current life is designed to maintain your current self. Your environment, your relationships, your daily patterns, they all conspire to keep you exactly where you are. Not because they're malicious, but because systems seek equilibrium. If you try to transform while remaining embedded in the system of your current life, that system will fight you every step of the way. Real transformation requires temporary isolation. It requires removing yourself from the circumstances that have been shaping you and placing yourself in new circumstances specifically designed to shape the version of you that you're becoming. Principle 3, completion over perfection. Here's what stops most people: they confuse transformation with perfection. They think that their one big project, their life-changing work, needs to be flawless. So they plan. They prepare. They research. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect version of themselves to show up. Tarantino's first script wasn't perfect. Reservoir Dogs has flaws that film critics have pointed out for decades. But it was complete. And completion changes everything. A finished imperfect script that exists in the world has infinitely more power than a perfect script that exists only in your imagination. Your transformation doesn't require perfection. It requires completion. It requires you to finish something so significant that when it's done, you've proven to yourself that you're capable of things you weren't capable of before. Your one night starts now. So how do you actually apply this? How do you take the Tarantino method and use it tonight to begin changing your life? First, you need to identify your Reservoir Dogs. What's the one project, the one achievement, the one body of work that, if completed, would fundamentally prove to yourself that you're different? Not something that would be nice to do. Not something on your someday list. But something that scares you precisely because completing it would mean you've become someone new. Maybe it's writing the first draft of your book. Maybe it's creating a complete business plan for the company you've been dreaming about. Maybe it's composing 10 songs, or painting a series of canvases, or coding the prototype of your app. Maybe it's getting in the best shape of your life. The specific goal doesn't matter. What matters is that it's significant enough that completing it would shatter your current self-concept. Second, you need to compress your timeline radically. Take whatever time frame you've been imagining, probably years, and compress it to weeks or months. I'm not saying you'll finish everything in one literal night like Tarantino's first intense writing session, but you need to set a deadline that makes you uncomfortable. A deadline that seems almost impossible. Because that impossible deadline is what will force you to access levels of focus and intensity you didn't know you had. Third, you need to design your isolation. This doesn't necessarily mean physically locking yourself in a room, although it might. It means intentionally removing yourself from the patterns and influences that have been keeping you stagnant. Cancel your social commitments for the next month. Delete the apps that consume your attention. Tell the people in your life that you're going dark for a while. Create artificial constraints that force you to choose between your transformation and your comfort. The resistance will fight back. Here's what you need to prepare for: the moment you commit to this, everything in your life will seem to conspire against you. Unexpected crises will emerge. People will need you urgently. Doubts will flood your mind. Your current self will stage a rebellion because it knows it's about to die. This resistance isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's confirmation that you're on the right one. Resistance only shows up when you're doing something that matters. When you're attempting something that will genuinely change you. Tarantino faced this too. When he quit his job to write, people thought he was insane. He had no safety net. He had no guarantee of success. He was choosing enormous risk over comfortable mediocrity. And every rational voice in his head probably screamed at him to stop, to be reasonable, to take the sensible path. But he didn't. And that's the choice you're going to have to make too. When the resistance shows up, and it will, you're going to have to decide whether your transformation is worth fighting for. Whether the person you're becoming is worth defending against the forces trying to keep you who you are. The identity shift. Here's what's really happening during your one night of transformation: you're not just creating something. You're becoming someone. You're making a choice about identity that's so dramatic, so undeniable, that your self-concept has no choice but to update. Before Tarantino wrote Reservoir Dogs, he was a video store clerk who dreamed of being a filmmaker. After he wrote it, he was a screenwriter. The external world hadn't validated him yet. No one had bought his script. No one had made him famous. But internally, irrevocably, he had become someone different. This is the real power of the Tarantino method. It's not about the external results, though those will come. It's about the internal shift. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing someone who does the thing, not someone who wishes they did the thing. When you complete your project, when you finish your book, launch your business, create your art, transform your body, you won't just have a product. You'll have proof. Undeniable, concrete proof that you're the kind of person who makes things happen. And once you have that proof, once you've demonstrated that capability to yourself, everything changes. The compound effect of one night. Here's what people don't understand about transformation: it's not linear. One genuine breakthrough, one project completed with absolute commitment, creates a cascade of changes that ripple out into every area of your life. After Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino didn't have to force himself to be disciplined anymore. He didn't have to motivate himself to work on Pulp Fiction. The discipline, the work ethic, the creative confidence, it all flowed naturally because he had fundamentally changed who he was. He had evidence of what he was capable of. This is what's waiting for you on the other side of your one night. Not just the completion of one project, but the unlocking of a new baseline. A new standard for what you expect from yourself. A new identity that makes future achievements almost inevitable. You'll stop needing motivation because you'll have momentum. You'll stop needing discipline because you'll have identity. You'll stop needing to convince yourself you can do hard things because you'll have done one thing so hard, so significant, that all future challenges will pale in comparison. Tonight is different. So here's my challenge to you: stop reading this and start planning. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Tonight. What's your Reservoir Dogs? What's the one project that would change everything if you completed it? Write it down. Right now. Be specific. Then, set your deadline. Make it aggressive. Make it uncomfortable. Make it something that requires you to operate at a level you've never accessed before. Then, design your isolation. What do you need to remove from your life? What do you need to say no to? What boundaries do you need to set? What environment do you need to create? And then, and this is the crucial part, begin tonight. Not with planning. Not with preparation. Not with more research or more thinking. Begin with action. Begin with the first hour of focused, intense work on the thing that matters. Because here's the truth: you don't need years to change your life. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need more skills or more knowledge or more time. You need one night of absolute commitment. One night where you decide that who you've been is no longer acceptable and who you're becoming is worth fighting for. One night where you compress all your potential energy into kinetic reality. Tarantino had that night in 1990. The script he wrote launched a career that changed cinema. But more importantly, it changed him. It proved to him what he was capable of. And that proof became the foundation for everything that followed. Your night is waiting. Your transformation is possible. Your Reservoir Dogs is there, ready to be created. The only question is, are you done waiting? Because if you are, if you're truly ready to stop living in the gap between who you are and who you could be, then tonight is your night. Tonight is when your old story ends and your new story begins. Don't waste it planning. Don't waste it preparing. Don't waste it waiting for confidence or clarity or permission. Use it creating. Use it becoming. Use it proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you've been settling for. One night. One project. One radical commitment to transformation. That's all it takes. That's all it's ever taken. The video store clerk understood this. Now it's your turn. Start tonight. Change everything. Your life is waiting for you to claim it.